Back now on Triad Today, and summertime is a good time, actually any time, but especially summertime, to talk about keeping our kids safe. And we have an expert in that field who's going to help us right now with me. Coming down from Mount Airy, Dr. Nicholas Tallman. He's a pediatrician with Northern Pediatrics under the umbrella of Northern Regional Hospital. And we welcome you to the program.
Thanks for having me, Jim.
Thanks for coming to the garden.
Yeah, it's beautiful here.
Spending some time with us. What are the risks to young children from exposure to sun and heat? I don't think I've ever asked anybody that.
Right, yeah. So some of the things we think about for anyone being out in the sun and too much, dehydration is always a concern. Also, sunburns are very common, especially during the summertime. And then there's also heat-related illnesses that you can get that kind of stem from the dehydration and deconditioning that some kids will get during the summer.
And sunburn, you know, people laugh about it sometimes, but it's, I mean, that can be a very serious thing.
Yeah, exactly. It can be very serious, especially if the kid is under the age of 1. It can be more serious. And so if they do have sunburns under 1, we always say seek medical help or attention at that time.
What are some of the warning signs to look out for with heat exhaustion? Because if you got young kids that are running around the beach or running around the pool or playing sports, and they don't want to stop, they want to keep going and going and going. So what are you looking for as a parent?
Right. Yeah, so stuff to look out for a parent, that they're a little bit more sluggish than they were before, that they're complaining of thirst. The kids don't usually complain of thirst until they're quite thirsty, and sometimes that might be a sign of dehydration at that point. Sometimes confusion, we always worry about if there's confusion or they're just more lethargic than normal. If you do see those or they start having a fever, that's when we kind of move from more of that heat, just heat stress, more to heat exhaustion.
And just keep them hydrated.
Keep them hydrated is one of the biggest things.
What about, you know, especially in the evening hours and you're having cookouts and kids are playing around? I was talking to somebody the other day about insect repellent. Is that, I don't know the answer to this, is it safe to use insect repellent on young kids?
Yeah, so insect repellent is recommended, and it's the recommendation is any kid over the age of 2 months it's safe to use insect repellent. Looking for the insect repellent that has DEET, up to 30% DEET is safe for kids.
I want to double back to the sun part of this thing. Sunscreen. You go into the store and you see all these ratings, you know,
right.
and you try to figure out which one's going to be best or any of them any good. What's your, you know, without doing a commercial for sunscreen, what's your recommendation on what kind of sunscreen is really effective for children?
Right. So the sunscreen that works, that's the best, most recommended would be the one that offers dual protection from UVA and UVB sun rays. And we look for at least 30 SPF of 30. Some will say 15, but the dermatology folks kind of push for at least a 30 SPF.
And now, you know, because I'm old, my mind wanders sometimes, but I want to go back to another thing too about the hydration thing. Yeah. If you're trying to keep your kids hydrated, especially if they're doing sports or playing baseball or running around, are you saying it should be water? Should it be Gatorade or soft drinks okay, or tea? I mean, is there certain things that are good and not good for hydrating?
Right, yeah, so generally overall the best would be water, pushing water for kids. If they're out for more than an hour or so, especially the athletes, the student athletes that have, after an hour or so, replenishing with some sports drinks that have the electrolytes, the sugars, the salts in there. A good rule of thumb for hydration basis is an 8-ounce cup of water for each year of life up until they're about 8 years old. So
I'd have to drink like 69 bottles of water.
And it's usually capped around about 2 liters, or about 8-ounce cups of water.
We only have a few seconds left. I'm just curious. I'm surprised with this question. But what led you to want to go into medicine? I mean, was there a parent or a teacher or somebody that was sort of a role model or what?
Right, yeah, it would be my father. He was a physician too. And then I had great doctors growing up, and I just loved medicine from an early age.
We're glad you chose that field because you're doing a great job. Up on screen, choosenorthern.org is the website, the general website for Northern Regional Hospital. You can click on and find out things about pediatrics. choosenorthern.org. Doc, thanks for all you do.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you.
You want to come back and see us sometime?
Sure.
All right. We'll be right back after this.